When most people think of real estate, they naturally think about the places where they spend most of their time. Their homes, their offices, their favorite retail store, or their favorite restaurant and bar. But when people hear industrial real estate, they might picture giant brick chimneys pumping out foul-smelling smoke, or an assembly line at a GM factory with computer-automated machinery putting cars together. This visual can apply to certain realms of industrial activity, but as a whole, industrial businesses extend far beyond this picture, working behind the scenes of all of these high-traffic spaces and essentially providing the fuel for them to operate. Toilet paper, food, clothing, and almost every single item in your home, office, or retail store was either produced or stored in an industrial building at some point. So it's easy to see the gravity of influence that industrial businesses have on our everyday lives. As you may have guessed, there are many different types of industrial users for industrial properties, and there are different types of structures associated with each of them. So it's important to familiarize yourself with each one to know what kind of tenants occupy each type of property. Now, keep in mind that some of these properties can accommodate other industrial uses, so knowing the basics of each one should help in determining the types of tenant options you'll have once you purchase an industrial property. Industrial land. Industrial land is fairly straightforward in its basic definition, whereas it is land that is zoned industrially, but does not have any permanent structures on premises. A site like this doesn't always have to have a building on its grounds in order for an industrial business to operate. The land may be used for purposes such as parking equipment, or storing gravel or mulch, or any other surface operation. Investing in industrial land also gives you the opportunity of building from the ground up. Vacancy rates in the industrial sector of commercial real estate have been historically low for years now. So building a structure on your industrial site carries a much lower risk of having long-term vacancies than that of some other commercial real estate developments. Owning a piece of industrial land also gives an investor the option of advertising a build-to-suit type of opportunity, where the landowner pays the upfront construction cost of a build that meets a tenant's specific requirements, and then they lease the space to that tenant upon the project's completion. If you own industrial land, there are a couple of good routes that you can take in order to gain the most from your development. When developing anything, it is always important to assess where your market's local demand lies. And if you'd like to learn more about development, check out this video here. The industrial build-to-suit. You may have seen a sign on a piece of land before that says build-to-suit. Well, a build-to-suit is an advertisement to businesses who may be looking for space for their company. In a build-to-suit, a landowner pays for the construction of a structure according to the tenant specifications and then leases that building to the tenant once it's been delivered. Build-to-suit options can be great for industrial landowners because you don't have to worry about vacancy rates, since you will already have a tenant in place prior to spending any money other than acquiring the land. In other words, you are having someone pay you to add value to your property with less risk than building a speculative building. Spec buildings, however, can also be a great way to add value to your land. Building a spec building means that you are essentially constructing a building for the purpose of putting it immediately on the market, and you don't have somebody with a lease in hand already. For example, if there is a low vacancy rate for general warehouse space in your area, it may be wise to go ahead and meet that demand by delivering a brand new warehouse to the market. Spec buildings can be highly risky, but also highly rewarding if you can fill a need that is lacking in your local market. Bulk warehouse. Bulk warehouse properties are the largest industrial product and are typically in the 50,000 to million plus square foot range. These properties are usually regional distribution for various types of products and require strong accessibility for trucks entering and exiting the highway systems. Most bulk warehouses are located outside of metro areas because most of these have incredibly large footprints, although some larger companies like Amazon are starting to construct multi-story industrial warehouses in order to use less acreage. Tenants of bulk warehouses do sometimes ship goods directly to consumers, but more often these warehouses are largely purposed for bulk goods to be stored and act as the main supply chain for a multitude of retailers and distributors. Flex warehouse. Flex warehouse, as the name implies, is a flexible industrial product that may easily accommodate a wide range of uses. These warehouses usually have at least some portion of office space connected to the warehouse and can widely range in size to fit your small mom and pop plumber to regional granite distributors and more. Flex warehouses exist in rural areas as well as densely populated urban cores. In the more urban areas, this type of industrial real estate is often referred to as infill industrial. Infill industrial is a great avenue for commercial real estate investors to get their feet wet in industrial real estate because these types of properties are so highly sought after by tenants, and they're also able to accommodate a wide variety of users, not to mention future development potential. Heavy manufacturing. The heavy manufacturing space is often isolated within the most intense industrialized areas of municipalities due to its use of heavy machinery, chemicals, and power necessities. Think of General Motors and DuPont as tenants for this type of industrial product. These types of properties are more often owned by larger national companies or local owner users because heavy industrial properties are often very customized for the current user and their specific requirements. Tenants tend to occupy these sites for very long terms, sometimes decades long, because it is very inconvenient for them to relocate such a large operation. So if you find the opportunity to own a heavy manufacturing plant with a tenant already in place, it would definitely be an opportunity to investigate. Light assembly. Light assembly industrial has a fair amount of crossover with flex space, but unlike heavy manufacturing, light assembly space isn't typically utilized to manufacture materials, simply to assemble them and ship them out to distribution centers. Like flex space, light assembly can also be used for storage and office space, so think call centers or data centers. Cold storage. Cold storage and refrigeration warehousing is exactly what it sounds like. Refrigerated warehousing intended to store perishable food and other products. They are often used as distribution centers for chain groceries and require HVAC systems and insulation setups that are able to support and maintain temperatures ranging between 34 degrees to -10 degrees. With the rise in consumer demand for fresher food and grocery delivery, cold storage has increased significantly since 2000. As grocery delivery continues to grow as a widespread convenience, grocers are exploring how to become more efficient in their delivery services. Same-day delivery has been implemented in select cities, and this trend is not going away anytime soon. Over the next several years, this level of timely service should continue to spread to other metropolitan areas. Similar to heavy manufacturing sites, these spaces are build-out intensive and tenant retention can be very high. Data centers. Data centers are very complex properties, usually in centralized locations that are typically equipped with computer systems and networking equipment that is concentrated for the purpose of storing, processing, distributing, or allowing access to large amounts of data. Data centers provide important services such as data storage, backup and recovery, data management, and networking. These centers do things like run websites, email, and instant messaging services, provide cloud storage and applications, and enable e-commerce transactions, among many other things that require computer processing. In today's technologically centered world, almost every business in operation either needs its own data center or needs access to someone else's. Data centers need to be in close proximity to major communication trunk lines with access to extremely large and redundant power supplies that are capable of powering these servers and telecom equipment. They also require strong flooring to support the weight of computer and electrical systems, along with specialized HVAC systems, backup generators, and other specialized equipment. Because of the large amount of high-tech, specialized equipment that these centers use, the electric and power systems that run these buildings are extremely complicated and expensive, which makes new construction of these sites very costly. If developing one of these facilities, it is always a good idea to work with specialists who have expertise in this area. Industrial showroom. Industrial showrooms are a bit of a hybrid between retail and warehousing. This product allows manufacturers to showcase their goods in a more retail setting while having shipping and distribution as well. Showrooms are often situated along interstates where they can achieve high visibility and easy access for consumers. Typically, around 50% of a showroom space is dedicated to sales, while the other half is intended to serve the distribution. These sites are attractive to small business manufacturers that make custom goods, such as a wood shop, because they are able to showcase their process to their customers and save on shipping and warehousing. Research and development. Research and development sites, like other categories of industrial real estate, are able to accommodate a large variety of users. These sites may sometimes fall under the flex space category, as they can be any hybrid combination of office, warehouse, and manufacturing space. Typically, users are in fields like electronics, biotechnology, chemicals, or drug development, but can be utilized by anyone who is researching new products or sciences. Some of these properties are highly specialized to fit the needs of specific users with custom plumbing, ventilation, and electrical layouts. Oftentimes, these types of buildings are located in industrial parks or on campuses that contain other similar operations. So there you have it for a quick dive into industrial real estate. If you're looking to buy more properties and need to learn how to raise capital, check out this video here.